What's up, Sag, and welcome to your October 2020 Creativity Tarot reading. My name is Kaylee Jean, and welcome to my channel. I record these readings for artists, entrepreneurs, and anyone who's working on their personal growth, self-expression, and spirituality in any form. So if those areas of life are intriguing for you, I encourage you to go ahead and keep watching. And I'm talking to you from my reading room with my little puppy sitting in my lap because she's very new and she wants to be with her people. So I want to talk to you about your meditation. One of the things that came through really strongly was a very, I feel like October is a very tactile month for you, Sag. I'm not sure what ways in which this is going to relate to each of you personally, but I was feeling an energy of like physical touch and physical sensations being very prominent for you. One of the ways that this could manifest, and the way that it was originally kind of shown to me in the meditation, was I almost felt like something, like a really soothing feeling of someone kind of massaging the scalp. So some of you might be, I don't know, if you have long hair, you might be going to a dry bar and having someone wash your hair for you, or you might be getting a massage, or you might be just being more physical. And it just feels a very enjoyable thing though. It feels like you are just really earthy and grounded, and there's almost kind of an empressy, embodied, just nourishing, relaxing feeling that's coming through. So I encourage you to go ahead and kind of embrace that, whatever it means for you this month. I think that physical touch is probably going to be a big factor in terms of how comfortable you feel with yourself and your own physical body, and just also for releasing tension. So if you are feeling stressed at any point this month, it would be a really great time for you to maybe go ahead and book a massage if you don't normally do that, or maybe even acupuncture, or just something with your physical body that is going to help release tension and also just help you feel the best that you can physically feel. So maybe as well exercise or yoga. I also feel an energy of just like a really delicious feeling of stretching. So that could also be part of it. But either way, this is a very embodied month for you, Sag. And I'm sorry that is just such an interesting message. I feel like we're going to have to probably get a lot more specifics in your cards, but that was the very, very strong thing that was coming through for you guys. So I hope that's helpful for someone out there, and let's take a look at your cards. Sagittarius. Okay. I'm using the Halloween Tarot because I feel like this is just such a lighthearted, fun deck for October. Okay. And your path card is the whale, with the influence card is the scorpion. Fascinating. So the first thing that comes to me when I look at these is the potential that there could be some kind of a healing going on in your life, Sag, around a Scorpio person that you have that's close with you. You could be talking things out with a Scorpio that you have in your life, or maybe there's a Scorpio person around you that is helping to heal you in some way. Now, if that's not the case, it could also be related to you if you're a Sag that has maybe a Mercury or a Venus in Scorpio, or if you have a Scorpio rising or something like that. It could be deeper aspects of yourself, scorpionic aspects of yourself that are going through and undergoing some kind of a transformative process, some kind of a healing. The whale as your path card, I feel, does point to this healing energy very strongly. It echoes a sense of peace within you this month. We do have some strong aspects at this time in October. We've got a couple of hard aspects. We've got a Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. We've got Mercury opposing Uranus. We've got Mars squaring Saturn. We've got Sun opposing Mars. So we have some very strong aspects that are, known to be a little bit more challenging. And again, those aren't just affecting you, they're affecting the entire collective. But your energy is actually showing up relatively peaceful. With the whale, this is about a sense of quiet trust in yourself, and a sense that you can meet whatever challenges come your way with a sense of groundedness and calm, and not reacting to things. The Scorpion as well, I think, is about healing from past trauma. So one of the ways that I feel this connects with the meditation specifically is that if you are a Sagittarius who has had any physical trauma in your life, let's say you were in a car accident years ago, and maybe you have like a soreness or, cold spots in different parts of your body, like from the accident. Maybe you have like, a soreness that comes through in your back, or just areas of the body that just don't feel quite as vibrant ever since that happened. And it could be, other kinds of trauma as well that are stored in the physical tissues. But the Scorpion card is talking about a deep healing that can take place, particularly in regard to something that has caused you a lot of pain, or that has caused you a deep sense of even insecurity as well. So this may be a physical healing that comes through your psychology, right? Like if you don't have a physical injury that you're healing this month, it could also be that you've always felt a certain way about your body, or you've always been very critical about your body, or you've always been very hard on yourself about a particular aspect of your physical body. You could be going through a deep healing and a rejuvenation in that area, and just starting to have a different conception of yourself, and a different maybe idea of who you are as a person, and like what you feel about yourself is going through some kind of radical shift. Which also may have to do with forgiveness of yourself. It may have to do with forgiveness and letting go of the past, which always kind of ends up kind of in strange ways unblocking energies in our physical body. So we could go through a psychological healing and then have a physical healing kind of happen spontaneously alongside that. And so there are some of these powerful energies around you, and I think this is going to be a really interesting reading. So let's take a look at your tarot cards. We've got the Devil with the Lovers, the Magician, the Seven of Bats, which is the Seven of Swords, Ace of Pentacles, which is the Ace of Pumpkins in this deck. We've got the Wheel of Fortune, the Sun, and the Two of Imps, which is the Two of Wands at the end of the month. So this is pretty interesting. I will say, especially since we've had the Scorpion energy showing up, and we've had these messages about physical healing and embodiment, seeing the Devil and the Lovers coming up in the first week of October does make me feel like there is something that you are working with on the level of physical matter. One of the ways that I look at the Devil card is not necessarily just that it is a card of, negativity or, darkness and fear or whatever. I also think about like the more pagan original symbolism that was turned into the Christian, idea of the devil, which originally was Pan, and Pan was, the god of nature. He was the god of sensuality and sexuality and of the animal kingdom. And so when you think about it from that perspective, the Devil card can also represent the physical world and the physical body and the aspects of ourselves that are very biological, right? And so when we see the Devil card with the Lovers, it could mean that in the first week of October, you're dealing with something on a very biological level. Perhaps it has to do with decisions that you make with your physical body. Could have to do with intimacy, of course, because the Lovers is there. So in the first week of October, you might be either realizing that some choices that you've been making, some people that you may have been spending time with, or something along those lines may not be the right thing for you. And that is echoed, in how you feel in your body when you're around them, or when you're engaging with them in some kind of act of intimacy. You could also be making important choices when it comes to your diet, I feel, with these two cards. You could be making important choices about how you honor yourself as a physical being, right? Because we tend to get very much in our head with the way that we are, as a society on the planet right now. We tend to be very much in our head. But I feel like in the first week of October, you're kind of confronting some things that have everything to do with how you treat your body, and everything to do with how you honor your body, how you honor your body as a temple. So some of you could be detoxifying or changing your diet, like I said, or you could be facing, some kind of, I guess I want to say, could be difficult truths, or could just be neutral truths about who you spend your time with in close physical proximity. But by the second week of October, you have the Magician and the Seven of Bats, which is the Seven of Swords. And so there is something here that feels kind of, it's interesting because on the one hand, I feel like you're very empowered in the second week of October, and your energy shows up as very capable, but I also feel like there's something that you need to pay attention to. I think that in the second week of October, particularly when it comes to matters of your career, right, because it's the Magician, there could be a tendency to want to skip over things, or want to create something and move on really quickly, or in order to get to the point where you can create something, or where you can make something or work on something, there's a desire, because my guides are kind of showing me a gap, and then someone trying to jump over the gap really quickly. But I feel like there's something in the void or in the space that needs to be looked at first. So on the one hand, I feel like the second week of October, you're feeling very creative and powerful and rejuvenated by new ideas. But on the other hand, there are things that you need to handle in the interim, in the spaces in between the tasks that you are planning for yourself, that you don't want to skip over because they could come back to bite you later on. So definitely try and be more detail oriented in the second week of October. But I do think that you are well on your way towards something that's really exciting, and that will be a very good thing for you. It will be something that gives you full kind of creative license to work your magic in the world, and to be more of who you are as an artist, or more of who you are as a creator. So those are the things that I think are the benefits, and the potential warnings for the second week is really not to skip over anything too quickly. Make sure you're checking all the details. And also I would say too, if you are working on something new with the Seven of Swords or the Seven of Bats in this card, I would say, it's a good idea to keep it to yourself. Keep it under wraps for the time being until you're actually ready to share about it, okay? And there's nothing wrong with doing that. And now we get to the really exciting stuff. So the second half of the month just looks, frankly, very exciting for you. You have the Ace of Pumpkins with the Wheel of Fortune. So when we look at these cards, it's the Wheel of Fortune always represents opportunities for change. Where the Ace of Pumpkins or the Ace of Pentacles represents new resources that are being granted to you essentially by the universe, particularly because you have the Wheel of Fortune, which is a universal card. It's one of the cosmic cards in the tarot that really reflects the macrocosm. It's the universe bringing new energies into your life, as opposed to, mundane things that you're doing to bring in change. the Wheel of Fortune kind of represents the opposite of that. It's more like fated change or destined change, which is also a very real force for us. And I think the destined change here that you're working with is, it's the Ace of Pumpkins. So it is about feeling like you have more potential on the physical level, either with your physical body or even with your finances. I think you could be getting some kind of opportunity, some kind of treat as well, because you can see this is like a little basket of Halloween candy. So there's like some kind of treat coming to you from the universe. And I believe these are iris flowers as well in the bottom. I'm not 100% sure, but if they are, there is something about messages that I'm getting. Maybe I'm mischaracterizing that flower on purpose so that I can give this piece of insight, but I feel like there is some kind of a message coming to you in the third week of October that will be a treat for you. It will be something that you're looking forward to. It won't be something just being handed to you like, it's wrapped and ready to go. It's more like it's a raw resource that you can then use and refine into creating something that you want for yourself, which is actually what you want to do anyway. You are a Sag, so you want to create things, you want to explore things for yourself. You don't necessarily want to just be handed the destination. You would rather go on the journey, right? So I think I see you kind of going on a journey, or, when it comes to your physical body or your finances, there's some kind of new adventure coming into your life, which is exciting. The fourth week of October, we have the Sun and the Two of Imps, which is the Sun and the Two of Wands. And this to me is all about creative excitements coming into your life. It's about decision making, assessing where you stand with the Two of Imps. This guy is kind of pulling these two imps apart, so he's kind of making sense of the energies at hand, right? Because the imps represent flame, and the wands are associated with salamanders, which are, these kind of magical fiery creatures that would crawl out of wood when like medieval people were putting wood on their fire. That's why salamanders became associated with the suit of wands and with fire in general, is because people would throw logs onto their fire, and like these little salamanders that were hiding inside the log would run out. So they were kind of seen as like a fire creature because of that, which I think is really interesting. But one of the things that I get with this, with the Sun rising and the Two of Wands, I think that you really are making some important decisions about your future and about how you express yourself. Sagittarius, you could be like starting a new website if you are a business owner. You could be starting a whole new business, or some of you could be deciding to become pregnant, or you could be just kind of going on like a big change in your life, a big adventure that's going to give you the ability to embrace your creative energy in a new way. So that's why I think you're going through this like deep healing before the end of the month, is I feel like everything is preparing you for what's coming, and what's coming is a very exciting new chapter in your life, right? It's it's about growth, It's beautiful. Okay. So the Bob Ross message is, you have to have dark in order to show light, just like in life. You have to have dark in order to show light, just like in life. Yeah, Sag. So I think you guys know this, and I feel like that's sort of the energy that you're working with in the very beginning of October, is that energy of darkness and light, and working the synergy, or working like the yin and yang, which is what makes up the whole, right? You have to have both forces. And I see, on the one hand, there's like the kind, beautiful face of healing in your cards, which is the Whale. And then there's also the like potential, wow, returning to remembering how much pain you experienced, or there's a sense of like a healing of a trauma, but even the fact that you're going into that healing also is stirring up, the trauma from the past, or it's it's getting stirred up and released, which feels good, but it's still kind of that bitter, not bittersweet, but like, I want to say like sweet and spicy. It's almost like there's this mingling and this complexity that you're feeling this month, but I actually think that you're doing really well with it, and you guys have great cards. So I hope this reading has been helpful for you, Sag. Please let me know in the comments what you thought. If you just want to help my channel and say thank you, just leave me a comment below with a little pumpkin emoji, or leave me a Halloween message. I would love to hear from you guys. You can also give this video a thumbs up, and you can subscribe for notifications as well. And you can also donate. Even just $1 is fantastic and so useful. Thank you so much for being here, guys. Sending you tons of love, and I will talk to you next time.